Buckle up, babies, because this one is going to be a long one. Hey all, how are y'all? It's me, Elaha. Hey guys, and welcome back or welcome to Elements of Elaha, where I talk about things that interest me, affect me, or am very passionate about. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the downfall of the All-American universe. So this series is going to be about two parts. In this first video, I'm going to focus on the parent show All-American. And in the next video, I am going to be talking about All-American Homecoming. So in this video, I am just going to be talking about things that didn't age well or some decisions they made that were just dumb. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was Asher and Olivia's relationship. So when I first started watching the show, it was a bit out of context. At the time, I started watching the show in 2020, where the first two seasons of the show were out. And the first episode I watched was the birthday episode, season 2, episode 5. So when I was watching Asher and Olivia's relationship, I thought they were pretty cute. But then when I went to go and watch the full 2 seasons at the time on my own, I'm like, ugh. It really wasn't. Because when we first get an introduction to Asher and Olivia's relationship, at the time, Asher is in a relationship with Layla, Olivia's best friend, and we see that Olivia and Layla have gotten some distance due to what happened with her and Asher. So her and Asher had a drunken hookup where Asher, even though he was like a bit more sober than the drunk Olivia, he quite literally took advantage of her. So then when Asher finds out that Layla cheated on him with Spencer, all of a sudden he wants to get drunk and make a big scene at homecoming. And one of the first things he does is slut shame Olivia in front of everybody.
Isn't that right, Layla? I mean, you did cheat on me with him, so you would know. No, it's okay, really, it's okay. Because technically, I cheated first. Tell her, Olivia. Tell her, go on. Tell your best friend how we had sex way before Spencer showed up on the scene. Tell her, go ahead.
Come with me.
Are you kidding me? You slut-shamed her, you embarrassed her in front of Beverly people and the Crenshaw peeps too, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to act like Asher's the victim. Really? And he never apologized for that. It was even the Combine episode a few episodes later. Asher was having some issues with his family. And who was the one to get him off his dirty stinking yash and tell him to, hey, come, do not throw your future away? Olivia. And I feel like they really could have just focused on Chris and Olivia's relationship because they were really cute for the time being, but they really didn't get to enjoy just being cute because they always made Olivia play the savior to Asher, then never even apologized to her for what he did to her. Then we get into season 2 where they're in an actual relationship, and Olivia at the time was recovering from her addiction to pills. And what does Asher go and do again? Start taking steroids. Like, you know your girlfriend is a recovering addict and you're putting her through that? Why? Like, it just was not cute at all. And I know when Vanessa was introduced, definitely the Asher I met last summer wouldn't do that. The Asher I met last summer. You knew him for what, 8 weeks? 9 weeks? That is a shred of somebody's personality. Yes, it was annoying, but Vanessa did what she needed to do. We always knew Olivia and Spencer were it for each other. So even though that relationship was absolute dumpster fire, I'm glad, Vanessa was the catalyst to really, really speed that up. The next point I wanted to talk about was the so-called besties, the so-called quote-unquote Beverly besties. Olivia and Layla's one-sided friendship. So, when we're first introduced to Olivia and Layla's dynamic, when Olivia is introducing Layla to Spencer, like, it really seems that her and Layla weren't best friends, period. And then we find out the reason why her and Layla have been through a bit of distance. And then one of the first conversations that they have after the second episode, where they go to that party and Olivia almost hook up in the hot tub, was when Layla was talking to Olivia about her coming back from rehab the previous summer, and she was talking about, oh, she didn't even know Liv's addiction was that bad. So the darkest period in Olivia's life, her so-called best friend was not there for her. And then when it comes to Spencer, she knew that Olivia liked Spencer, and yet she still went after him, knowing that she had a boyfriend at that time. And when Olivia had relapsed in season 3, she didn't even clock it at all. And when they had that whole blow up after the whole Vegas reveal, she was quick to drop Olivia. And then, yet, Olivia was there when it came to supporting Layla throughout her depression. All the times when Olivia needed Layla, Layla was not there. But when Layla needs Liv, Layla is always there. It always seems like they have to push her to do some things to support her best friend. Who was the first one that told Layla, hey, she needs to be there for Liv, even though they're on a rough patch? It was Coop. Layla herself did not come to that realization. Even when Olivia won an award for her journalism in season 5, she still had to be pushed to go to her so-called best friend's award ceremony, and they're supposed to be best friends? They literally have no depth to their relationship. They just throw the whole best friend phrase around, and they've done nothing to give really any depth to that friendship. Just because they have known each other since they were kids does not mean that that is an excuse to not give them any depth on screen. Because if we don't see it, we won't care. Because what we do see is a one-sided friendship. How Olivia is always showing up for Layla, and then when she needs Layla, Layla ain't there.
Okay, I understand why you're upset, but I didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything? Are you serious?
Spencer told me he loved me. I didn't tell him to say that.
Right, and the lying to me for months while Spencer made a fool out of me, what was that?
Spencer genuinely cares for you, Layla. That wasn't a lie.
So cares for me, but loves you. I'm over it. I refuse to be a cliche standing around fighting over a boy.
I mean, it's not like you and Spencer were even together at the time.
You want to argue technicalities? You don't get it. It's not about Spencer or Asher or any of my other exes you want to go for. It's about loyalty, okay? And the fact is, you suck as a friend.
Layla, you wouldn't know loyalty if it had a price tag, because you don't value anyone or anything once it gets in the way of what you want.
That's not true.
Really? Because when Spencer first got to Beverly, you intentionally got him drunk and almost ruined his football dreams. And then you tried to get me to hook up with him until you realized that you just wanted him for yourself, and then suddenly my feelings just didn't matter anymore. And despite all of that, I still supported you at your lowest point when you were battling your depression. Unlike you, who, if I remember correctly, told me that you didn't even realize that my addiction was that bad after I got back from rehab last year. I mean, what kind of friend is that?
Because I definitely feel like after their big blow up in the mid-season 3 finale, they were just skating on eggshells afterwards, because they never really had like a deep conversation after that. Like when Spencer and Coop had their whole friendship breakup, you know, it made them come together stronger as friends, but they didn't do the same for Layla and Olivia. I feel like they definitely should have just been like acquaintances, but they really need to dead this whole best friend thing, because now anytime where Layla has an issue now, she'll go to Patience over her so-called actual best friend. And of course, you know, Olivia would go to either Spencer or Coop or Simone. Like, if we're being honest, like when Olivia needs something, her, besides Spencer, her actual best friends are Simone and Kia. If they had made Simone and Kia Olivia's best friends, like, we wouldn't have to deal with this issue, honestly. Like, I just need them to stop playing in our face. We see who actual best friends are on this show. Spencer and Coop are best friends, and Spencer and Olivia are best friends. Don't even get me started with this whole Asher, Jordan, and JJ friendship, because it's pretty much non-existent. And that carries on into my next point, which is Spencer and Jordan's one-sided brotherhood. Literally, Spencer just came to Beverly to play ball, and the first thing him, Jordan, and Asher conspired to do is get him sent home. I don't know why he was mad about Spencer coming into his house when the main reason why Spencer came to your house was because he would have been ruled ineligible to play because he was commuting from Crenshaw to Beverly. You guys caused that. And then all of a sudden it's surprise Pikachu face when he's now living in your house. Because the main reason why Billy had brought Spencer to Beverly was because you guys sucked.
You're not ashamed of yourself. Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
You guys were garbage, and you needed a savior, which was Spencer James. You did. Then they wanted to villainize Spencer for having some animosity towards the team when there were several valid reasons why in the pilot alone. The literal first thing Asher said to Spencer was Bloods or Crips. And you mean to tell me Spencer's supposed to be the bad guy? And then they try to force this whole brotherhood thing when it's just non-existent. Literally how friendship is in Beverly is I'm cool with you until you start doing better than me. Or when things are hard in your life, then they start bouncing. Because literally, Jordan has never had to work for anything in his life. Primarily because his dad was in the NFL. When Grandpa Willie tried to train him, he didn't take anything serious. Everything was literally handed to him. The QB1 position, he didn't have to work for it. Like, the only person that made him work was Coach Montez in season 3. Then when it came to the QB1 position in college, he never had to work for that either. And now all of a sudden they made him a Heisman finalist when he's never had to work for anything. Like, he's just handed all these things, yet he wants to be jealous of Spencer that literally has to work for everything he has today. How can you say, oh, they're brothers, when Jordan was the main reason why Spencer even had to move in with the Bakers in the first place, because he wanted to get him sent home? Because he's insecure about like his actual talent. I don't really think he liked playing football for real, but he did it because Olivia was obviously the favorite twin. And so if Jordan picked up a football, he had something to relate to his dad on because his dad played football. I think that's it. He rarely even, because if he did have a passion for football, he wouldn't get so intimidated by the Crenshaw people specifically's talent and work ethic. When it came to the revelation about Billy and Grace hooking up, who is the first person that Jordan put hands on Spencer? He literally just found out the same time as you guys did, and he was just as hurt as you. And then they're supposed to be brothers. So you know when that reporter in the season 3 premiere was twisting it, making it seem like Spencer was dogging out Beverly when he went back to South Crenshaw. He didn't have enough sense to be like, I know Spencer. Spencer wouldn't say that. All of a sudden, you know, Dane, his actual like antagonist, the one that was actually antagonizing him, he didn't lay one finger on him, but Spencer's the one you want to put hands on. The same thing happened in the season 3 finale. You are the one that asked Spencer to train you, knowing that you had a concussion, knowing that it wasn't safe. And so when Spencer goes to tell your dad, hey, I don't think it's good for him to play in the state championship because, you know, I'm worried about his safety. All of a sudden, you want to put hands on him now? Isn't that what a brother is supposed to do? Huh? And then, now in season 6, where this boy is literally jeopardizing Spencer's chances at the NFL, and we're supposed to believe, oh, that's his brother?
You're not the only player on the field, Spence.
Yeah, but I'm the best.
The best? It's funny how your greatness depends on me getting you the ball.
Hey, it shouldn't take us long to run the play. Is there a problem?
No, sir.
Nah, we all good. As a matter of fact, if it's all right with you, Coach, I want to play on defense.
All right, let's run it. Spencer, you're our cornerback.
That's what I gotta do.
Stupid idiots. He was saying, oh, it's funny how your greatness depends on if I give you the ball. Duh. That's your job as the quarterback. Spencer is the wide receiver. His main job is to receive the ball from you, the quarterback. Like, he really thought he ate that. You thought you ate, give me that plate. And then all the time where we can clearly see that Jordan is the villain, Spencer's always the one having to apologize. Like, he will literally be the one degrading himself so Jordan can feel better about himself, and he's never taken accountability once. Like, he's literally just a big baby. All the time, he wants to rant. Wah, this person's doing better than me. Wah, this person has more talent than me. Wah, 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 wah. A big crybaby. How about you stop being insecure about what other people are doing and you just get up and put the work in yourself? You already have so much handed to you, and yet he doesn't take advantage of that. Even though your sister has privilege too. She worked hard for what she has. Your parents work hard for what they have. Spencer works hard for what he has. Your fiance now worked hard for what she has. Layla. Simone worked hard for what she has. And yet, he just wants to sit there and complain and not get off his yash and go do something. And it's always when it comes to the apologies, like whenever they want to make Jordan apologize, Spencer's like, oh, it's good, it's good. No, 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 no. He's the one that started this. He's the one that should apologize. And always when this happens, like there's some sort of relationship issues that are going on during this time. Because, for example, in the season 3 premiere where Jordan punched Spencer, when he goes to talk to Spencer again, it was when him and Simone were having the conversation about Simone wanting to raise her son. So instead of being like, I'm sorry, man, he's like, oh, Simone wants to adopt the baby and I don't know what I should do. Go talk to her. And then the same thing happened again in season 6, where it's even worse because he's jeopardizing Spencer's future. Then he wants to talk about, like, what do I do about Layla's depression? What do I do? You a grown man. Figure it out yourself. Like, I just wish they would dead it. Spencer's actual brothers, besides Dylan, his biological brother, are Chris and Darnell. That's it. That's all. Then the next point I want to talk about is when they moved Spencer back to South Crenshaw. I definitely feel like once they moved Spencer back to South Crenshaw, it really was the beginning of the end of the quality of the show. Because besides Olivia and Simone, I just didn't care about the Beverly people anymore, because why should I care about the Beverly people when the main character is not even at Beverly anymore? And so they put Spencer back in South Crenshaw High School to stop the school board from turning South Crenshaw into a magnet school. Yet, when it came to the whole Tamika thing in the middle of season 3 where South Crenshaw forfeited a game, I was like, okay, well, this is a time period. If they want to forfeit, whatever. So when they had that second chance to, you know, give them a win, like give the poor people something, give the black people something. Like, Beverly had already won the championship back in season 1. Yet, Spencer was the resource, you know, he marketed himself as the resource to stop South Crenshaw being turned into a magnet school, and they make South Crenshaw lose the state championships.
Girl, stop playing with us right now. Like, we really don't feel like...
Why does she not like black people? I really wanted to smack JJ for that. They really should have won, but no. She's a useless goat for that. Because while they were playing the game, Spencer had found out that Coop had just gotten shot. So at the very least, like, we definitely know Chris scored that touchdown, but no. She just wanted to be anti-black for no reason. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was trading Olivia's recovery arc in season 3 for the whole BLM arc. They really put Olivia's recovery aside in order for them to do the Tamika BLM thing in 2021. It was a lot of things that black shows and like a lot of shows at the time were doing with the whole BLM arc. And I feel like you guys could have focused those two things at once, but Olivia's recovery just took a back seat. And I didn't really like that. The next thing I want to talk about is they always turn Olivia's interest into conflict. Like, for example, when Olivia first created her podcast, Live the Truth, after Crenshaw Kathy racially profiled her brother, Spencer, Kia, and Dylan, and Asher was the token white boy in there. Olivia used this to talk about the injustices that were going on in the community, getting out of her Beverly Hills bubble. And when she decided to use her platform for good and talk about how the police were hiding the camera footage of them killing Tamika, they had to use that for drama again, with her mom's job as district attorney being jeopardized. And then this show almost made me hate this word. And the word is article. Article. Season 4B, we could not rest. They had to create this as drama for season 5 all the time. Article, 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 article. So Olivia was putting together an article exposing GAU's coach at the time, Coach Garrett, for being a corrupt coach. And of course, they had to use this as drama for Spencer and Olivia's relationship, resulting in them breaking up for a whole season because they didn't know what to do. Olivia was the only couple that didn't struggle with communication issues, and they just had to do that for no reason. And literally with the whole article thing, they just made Olivia the antagonist for season 4B and 5A, and it was very annoying. We saw what you were trying to do, and I didn't take the bait. The people with sense did not take the bait, but it just opened up the door for Olivia to get so much hate for that. And then they did it again in season 6 with the whole Ashley thing, with Olivia not telling Spencer that Ashley was a dude and not a girl. Like, all the time when it comes to Olivia doing things that she's passionate about, they can't never let her do that. They always have to make it seem, they always have to paint Olivia in a villainous light. And I don't like that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was continuing the music storyline after the season 3 finale. After Coop got shot, I didn't think we'd be seeing the studio again. So then they decided to give her storyline to Patience. And this whole thing that they're doing with Miko just doesn't make any sense, because if Patience is supposed to be like this big artist, why is she refusing to pay rent? Why does she not have like her own house? Like, why were her album sales low? Why didn't she go on a tour like Coop did in season 3? They just didn't know what to do. Like, the whole studio thing honestly doesn't make no sense, because they expect Layla. I don't know why she didn't use her whole nepotism privileges for that, because we believe that she's supposed to be like this great record producer, yet she only has 2 or 3 artists, and Coop didn't get to finish her album because she got shot. So you were thinking, okay, this rich girl from Beverly Hills, after that had happened, you know, she would hire some, como se dice, security, bodyguards. But no, she didn't. And this whole thing they're doing in season 5 and season 6 with the whole Miko thing, it's just not making any sense, because definitely they ruined Patience's character for the worse. Like, you mean to tell me it's Beverly Hills, rich people could get robbed all the time, it's night, it's dark outside, and you hear somebody knock on the door, you don't think to use the peephole, you just open the door and you get stabbed? And wouldn't they have some Ring security camera footage? Why would she even need to open, Why would she even need to open the door in the first place? Like, she just stood there and got stabbed. Like, if she was rich, Layla would have the resources to promote Patience. She wouldn't need some rando with 1 million followers to do more for Patience. Get you see your life. You see your life. Then the next thing I want to talk about is making Olivia a sponsor in season 4 after only being sober for less than 6 months. That was stupid. Then the next thing I want to talk about is Layla's relationships. Like, if we put this in a perspective, Layla really never had any chemistry with Asher or Spencer. And so finally in season 4, where they introduced Clay, the only person who she has chemistry with, they decide to screw that up. Like, Clay was the only person that she had chemistry with, and they went to go and destroy that and put her with that man-child. That whiny man-child. Which brings me to my next point, the prom episode. And this was just a whole fireball of stupidity. Like, this already was one of the worst episodes of like season 4 and the series overall. But. You mean to tell me Beverly High School, that had a big fancy gala at the end of season 2 for the football players, didn't rent out a venue for their prom? They had to have it in their school gym. Let me say it again. Beverly High School, that had the fancy football gala at the end of season 2, didn't rent out a nice venue for their prom. They had to do it with South Crenshaw after their gym had gotten flooded. My school here didn't even have a lot of money like that, but we still went to prom in a venue that wasn't at the school. I mean, South Crenshaw, like with everything that went on there, like it made sense, like why they would have their prom in the gym. But Beverly, that just didn't make any sense. They just wanted to have an excuse for like the rest of the Beverly characters to be there, honestly. Because that was stupid. And then going on to the other things that were stupid, Spencer and Olivia literally made a pact that episode because, you know, those two are the superheroes of the show. Like, whenever they put themselves first, they're selfish, they're the villain. And then whenever they put other people before them, they get hate on for that. So these two were trying to have a nice prom night to themselves. Olivia has to play Mama Bear because they made her a sponsor too quick to Jen. And then we find out the whole reason why Beverly's gym flooded was because even though South Crenshaw was supposed to be the state champs, the rest of the South Crenshaw football team took it upon themselves to go and steal the state champs trophy from Beverly High School. Spencer had nothing to do with that, yet they wanted to make Spencer say, oh, if one of us takes it, we all take it. If one of us does this illegal thing, we all go to... Are you kidding me? You weren't even there, so why are you taking the fall for them? So like they had this whole intervention thing in the following episode, and you were expecting Jabari to come clean because I don't know why they would make him do that. Like, literally, you just got out of jail and then you're gonna do something that could land you back in jail? And to make matters worse in all of this, this was jeopardizing Spencer's graduation. You're really not gonna make your protagonist graduate? And we definitely know that if Spencer had graduated, he would have been the valedictorian because already Coop had dropped out. Darnell left. I don't know if Frosto was there or not. I'm gonna have to see. My girl Kia wasn't there. I think Patience was there. Patience was there and Chris was there. The Crenshaw side was looking a bit light. I guess they couldn't get the actors to return for that episode. But you're not going to have your protagonist graduate because he's taking the fall for something he didn't even do. And you're expecting Jabari to, like, you know, grow some balls and man up to what he just never did.
Yeah, double homicide.
That pissed me off so bad. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was them making Billy the principal of South Crenshaw High School. Why? So he not only was he the principal, Carter had to resign after the whole fiasco with the trophy thing. And he was the head coach, and they were and Grace was telling Billy, like, hey, you cannot commit to this, and Billy was so determined on like, oh yeah, I gotta be the principal, when the main story again was Spencer and Billy were like this father and son all the way to the NFL, and definitely like making Billy principal of South Crenshaw was going to derail all of that. They just didn't need to do that, because in hindsight it was very dumb, and I definitely think that this would have led to Billy having a smaller role. And I think this really influenced like Taye Diggs' decision to leave the show, because he knew that was some dumb nonsense. He knew that was some dumb-ish. Then the next thing I want to talk about is Preach. Why the hell is he still here? Why? After he had gotten cleared of the charges of shooting Mo because Mo had shot Coop, you know, he was defending Coop, he should have took his kid and bounced. The whole custody thing that they made him go through in season 5, I did not care. I did not care one bit. And then they decided to make him a teacher at South Crenshaw High. Why? It makes no sense for him to still be there. Like, there's a lot of characters that should have gone after the gang had graduated high school, but no. They're just having these characters in there for no reason. Because if they had written a lot of these characters out, or at least like demoted some of them to recurring, like we would have a lot more cohesiveness in the show and less unseriousness. But no, she has so much attachment to characters that just don't need to be there anymore, and it's causing the quality of the show to decline. And then let's talk about it. Because the Beverly kids are literally the brokest rich people I have ever seen. Because again, we're supposed to believe Layla is a successful music producer, yet she can't hire security for her own artists, yet her artists are flopping. How anytime where the couples need to get a romantic getaway, they can't swipe a credit card and go to a fancy hotel. They always have to go to Spencer's cabin. What's really nasty is like a lot of the times where they go to Spencer's cabin, Asher and Jordan take turns having animosity towards Spencer. And like all the time where they're there, they just whine and complain. Why do we have to be here? Then shoo, go. Nobody's forcing you to be here. Shoo. Like all the time where we're expecting Spolivia to just be alone, and we know they don't want those people there. They're like, oh, can we come? Take the hints. Shoo. And they're supposed to be rich. Go rent a hotel room. None of them own any property except Mr. Spencer James. And now, as of season 4, Layla could go buy herself a house if she wanted to, yet she's living in the Bakers rent-free. Coop and Patience, the main reason why they were there was because they wanted to get a place and they got scammed. And they're living in the Bakers' house rent-free. They have all this money, yet they flinch when it comes to the idea of paying rent.
You know, maybe I should start charging rent. Market value. And it isn't cheap.
Okay, yep, I guess I can change my appointment to Sunday.
Yep, message sent. I'll be there.
Great. All right. Love that.
And all the time they have this like revisionist history. One thing I don't like that they're doing in recent seasons is like when they talk about Jordan and Spencer staying in the house as if they have some sort of authority, especially Layla. Like when Jordan was talking about moving back from the beach house into his own house, Layla was like, oh, you can't be here. How are you gonna tell your man that he can't stay in the house that he grew up in? That you're living there rent free? And then Layla had the audacity to come for Laura for opening mail when you're staying in her house. Patience was saying, oh, she's being too clingy. You're staying in her house for free. If they were paying at least a cent in rent or groceries or utilities, that would make a difference, but you aren't. So none of you have the authority to be talking about if the boys can stay there or not. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the show not being able to showcase a platonic guy-girl friendship unless they literally are not romantically attracted to each other. Like, the only reason why we see guy and girl friendships in this show is because the girls are lesbians. And the main reason why Jordan and Layla were so useless in helping Olivia with this whole Ashley thing was because these two couldn't keep their hands to themselves. They were not helping at all. Like, the Vortex really is just a bunch of people that have all dated each other. They're not friends. They're like, the only people that are friends are the Crenshaw crew, because they're not just friends, they're family. Like I said, Beverly, they're cool with each other until the other one starts doing better than them, or one of their friends has a rough patch in their life, i.e. Olivia's addiction, i.e. the loss of Coach Baker. Let's talk about the second dumbest thing they did on the show. And this is literally one of the main reasons why I cannot rewatch season 5, is because they broke Spolivia up. They literally use the article as a way to do this whole miscommunication trope and to villainize Olivia. Like, they literally made it seem like Spolivia was miserable with each other, when anybody with eyes can see that these two were the only people that made each other happy. These two were the only people that didn't have an issue with communication. And if they had issues with communication, they would always talk it out in said episode. So for all of a sudden them to have a miscommunication trope and to seem like, oh, their passions are getting in the way of their relationship was very nasty. Like, all the time they try and challenge it to make it seem like, oh, somebody else is gonna come in between them and they're more in love than these two are with each other. Like, it was always Olivia for Spencer. They were always trying to sabotage that for no reason. And it was always going to be Olivia for Spencer. What he had with Layla wasn't real. What he had with Olivia is, and always will be. So for the whole nonsense that they did of, oh, I can't be the reason why your light dims. Are you serious? Kechi? Are you serious? Only to have, the only reason why I kept watching season 5 was to see if the two of them got back together, because they just dragged out this whole breakup arc for no reason. Then they made Olivia go on a date with Noah, who was obviously fruity, the dude that stole her article. That was unnecessary. And the whole thing with Alicia was stupid. It didn't need to be dragged out for very long, or it really didn't need to happen in the first place, because obviously she could tell that Spencer was still in love with Olivia, yet all of a sudden she wants to act flabbergasted when she has had obvious outs time and time again, and she still decided to stay there. In season 6, they tried to do that again with Ashley. They really could have just had a platonic guy-girl friendship, but they had to ruin it. For what? Why? And the whole thing of Olivia not telling Spencer Ashley was a boy, again, was stupid. It was stupid. Because I feel like that conversation that she had with Coop, you know, last time something like this happened, you know, Spencer broke up with me, I feel like they should have had that conversation with each other. Like, that was another way to make Olivia seem like the villain, when again, it's not gonna work on me. It's not gonna work on me. These two are soulmates. They are everything. They're the reason why the show got a season 6 after the nonsense that was season 5. So for them to constantly be toying with their relationship was stupid. Now, I said breaking Spilivia up was the second dumbest thing in the show. So let me talk about the actual dumbest thing they did in the show. And that is killing Billy Bean Baker off.
What?
And then let's talk about this whole context of Billy dying. So Billy originally, like when we saw the episode Time, Billy died in a bus crash because he was trying to save Jabari. The fact that Taye Diggs himself suggested for Billy to be killed off says something about the direction this show was going in. Jabari literally strikes again. Oh my goodness. So, putting all of this into context, it doesn't make any sense because one, the bus crash happened during the day, and then two, Jabari, who he was trying to save, was sitting in the back of the bus. And of course, anybody that's ridden a school bus before knows that there are 4 exits in case an emergency happens. There's the main exit in the front, there's the exit in the side, there's the exit in the roof, and there's the exit in the back. If Jabari was sitting in the back, he would have been one of the first people to exit because there's an exit right in the back. And then when we see Billy trying to help Jabari, all of a sudden it's nighttime, and they should have never really shown the whole flashback thing because everything in context doesn't make any sense. Like, Billy had an ample amount of time to get off that bus, but the way they shot it made it look like he wanted to kill himself. Especially with the last "Tell my family I love them," you could have jumped. Like, to just do that to Spencer was so nasty, like, because Billy died like 2 years after Corey did, and he was the only one that rode for Spencer because with Coach Kenny now, Kenny ain't doing a damn thing to help Spencer. And Spencer and Olivia were the main ones that helped you become head coach at GAU, and then when Spencer needs you the most, you're not there. Maybe him and Corey really are one and the same. Because anytime I see Kenny antagonizing Spencer for things that Jordan did, I'm just like, Billy would never. Billy would never. It just took like a dark, depressing turn when it really didn't need to happen in the first place. Like, everything, even though I'm still watching the show now, obviously because I want to see my baby Spencer and Olivia succeed, without Billy there, it just feels so empty without him. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about is this revisionist history when it comes to Jordan and Layla's relationship, along with Jordan and Simone. Obviously, anybody that has watched the show can see that these two Jordan and Layla have only had about 3 scenes across the first 3 seasons. Okay? How is Layla, then they wanted to be adding like a lot of extra things to justify like the relationship being thrown together, because they want to say like, oh, Jordan and Layla were best friends, but when Olivia was saying, hey, something's not right with Layla needs help, Jordan was not there during Layla's depression in season 2. Spencer and Olivia were there. When it came to Layla almost taking her life, who was the person she called? Spencer, even though she broke up with Spencer. Olivia was still there for Layla when she humiliated them at their birthday party. And who picked Layla up from rehab? Olivia. So then after Layla goes through this whole traumatic thing of Carrie almost pushing Layla to take her life, when Layla was obviously so closed off about that, again, like I said in my Ranking Black Ships Part 1 video, is Layla slept with only 2 people within the span of half a year. And the first thing Jordan does is slut shame her. Walls up, pants down. Really? And then people are going to say it's couple goals. That's another thing the show has an issue with, is the show has an issue with slut shaming their Black and biracial characters, specifically Layla and Olivia. But when it comes to the non-Black characters, non-Black women like Jamie, they're uplifted. They didn't think I'd catch that, but the way they talk about Jamie compared to Layla and Olivia when it comes to their sex lives is very telling. I don't know why they pick and choose when it comes to their relationship. Jordan and Simone weren't just engaged, they were married. So to make it seem less bad, they're like, oh, your ex-fiance. No, they were married. Simone was Jordan's first love. Stop it. They really think they can be toying with us. Like, I have a degree in All-Americanology. Don't play with me. Then the next thing I want to talk about is JJ's alcoholic storyline that they gave him in season 5. Like, JJ was the only character that acted his age. And then they just randomly gave him this alcoholic storyline in season 5. And I'm pretty sure the reason why Hunter Cloudis, the actor that plays JJ, left the show was because I think they wanted to do a whole bi-arc with JJ and this one dude character he had chemistry with in season 4, and he was like, no. So, yeah, that's his loss. Honestly, JJ really should have been written out after the season 4 graduation, but they just tarnished his character. And the fact that, again, JJ was not there for Jordan when he was grieving his dad, yet they were supposed to be there for JJ, made no sense. That was stupid. Then also, this whole storyline of Asher and Jamie having their own place, and their own place has to be Grandpa Willie's house in Crenshaw. Grandpa Willie don't really like white people like that. He just started liking Laura. So for Asher to ask Laura to help him find a home, and for Laura to be like, oh yeah, you can just go stay at Grandpa Willie's house, when Asher has a whole rich stepdaddy, the one that was helping pay his college tuition. Again, the brokest rich people I've ever seen. Spencer and Olivia have no problem talking things out. But anytime when it comes to the girl's health, like Layla, whenever she's talking to Jordan, or whenever Jamie's talking to Asher, all the time where they'll have a conversation about their health, they're like, oh yeah, my health is none of your business. How are you pregnant with this man's kid, and you're about to marry this man, yet their health is none of their business? Really? And then definitely, if they have Asher play in that championship when he has not touched a football in 3-4 years. It's already unrealistic having him as a coach. But if they do that, highly unserious. I hope they get disqualified. That is stupid. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was them gentrifying the Slauson Cafe. Yes, you heard me. The staple spot for the Crenshaw people. Even Spencer James has a sandwich named after him. Layla Keating and this other white man, Ryan, turned it into a nightclub. And then they wanted to brush it off, being like, oh, she hires people from the community. That's still gentrification. She don't even live in Crenshaw. Layla does not even live in Crenshaw, so she has no business buying the Slauson Cafe when that sports bar that Spencer worked at was right there. And after the stabbing, this whole Mr. Miyagi thing that we have going on with Patience is stupid. A lot of these characters really should have left after the season 4 graduation. All of them should have been either demoted to recurring or guest. Like, the only people that really just needed to be series regulars are just Spencer and Olivia. Everyone else can go. Because after season 4, that's when they started the whole ensemble crap. When this show was never an ensemble show. This show was about Spencer James and his journey to the NFL. But ever since the showrunner tried to brand it as this ensemble show, it changed for the worse and not for the better. So all the people talking about how we wanted more football storylines, I'm sorry, boo-boo. They don't know how to write football either. I don't even know if Spencer's still even in the room. Because I feel like if so, we wouldn't have an issue with these football scenes, honestly. Honestly, I feel like this show should just end after this season. I feel like it would have gotten to season 7 if season 5 just didn't exist, but the woman thought she could just be doing nonsense and that she would not suffer the consequences when, yeah, that's just not the case. But anyways, y'all, that is the end of part 1 of the downfall of the All-American universe. Part 2, I will be focusing on All-American Homecoming, and it's definitely going to be a shorter video. But yeah, you can go and check out my last video right here. Anyways, y'all, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.